Good afternoon on this chilly Saturday. My name is Joseph McGinty and welcome to my informative speech. At a show of hands, how many of you guys have a cell phone right now? Well, the cell phone. Today you can't go anywhere nowadays unless you have a cell phone. Can't pay your bills, can't go home, and you can't check your grades without a cell phone. So with so many different types of cell phones out there, it's not that hard to find the one that you truly want and fall in love with. I myself prefer the iPhone and did some research on said iPhone. According to my survey of the audience, 53% of the class would choose the iPhone over another type of phone. That's higher than the mean of the US population according to an article in eWeek, which states, in 2017, 43.5% of the Americans owned an iPhone. Since it was introduced in 2007, I fell in love with all the gizmos and gadgets. I had to have one. I don't know if you guys felt the same way as I did, but when I first saw that iPhone, I fell in love. When I was 17 years old, I saw the iPhone 1 and I had to have it, so I bought it with the little pennies I had. So with all that in mind, I'm going to ask the question, do you know the history of the iPhone? In the following speech, I will go over what made the iPhone so unique, from its beginning of the iPhone 1 to the iPhone 5, which changed the game, and to where it is today. So let me start off in the early days of the iPhone. In 1976, the founder of the iPhone, Steve Jobs, was the CEO and co-founder of Apple, where he helped sell Steve Wozniak's Apple I personal computer. That was a crowning achievement for him at the time, but not what made him famous. According to an article written by Aaron Pressman in June of 2017 called The Fortune, the mastermind himself was working on a project for nearly 3 years that would change the course of modern technology. This device was soon to be called the original iPhone. It unveiled in January of 2007 to millions of viewers. In September of 2014, the Business Wire posted an article stating the iPhone was originally introduced as an iPod with a wider screen, but with the capability to communicate. It soon became an iPhone. And for the first time, it had touchscreen instead of physical buttons. 1.4 million people originally bought the original iPhone. Steve Jobs was quoted as saying, "This device will change the course and reinvent the modern phone," and it did. So now let's move on to the iPhone that changed the game, the iPhone 5. Evolution, changing things up. Every major company at some point has to do something different to keep up with the Joneses. That's what Apple did with the iPhone 5. So in 2012, the iPhone brought major changes according to the Business Wire, most notably a dual-core A6 chip for faster processing. It's aluminum frame instead of stainless frame for lighter capability, and LTE support. It was one of the first phones to have all three components. It didn't just stop there with this iPhone. In 2012, Jason Snell wrote in Macworld, when the iPhone 5 was released, it broke all sales records according to date, exceeding 5 times the supply, 5 million phones in the first 5 days, and 70 million phones in total. It wasn't all sunshines and rainbows for this game-changing phone, as following its release, Samsung filed a lawsuit claiming that Apple infringed on 8 of its patents. The lawsuit was finally finally settled in March of 2018, awarding Apple $539 million in damages. Unfortunately, the iPhone, with all its gadgets and technology, saw its short life end in 2013, as it was discontinued a year after it was released. One of the shortest phones to ever stay on the shelf that long. Now let's move on to the topic, where is the iPhone today? With all the new accessories, technology, and innovations coming out, what's in store with the future of the iPhone? Well, as of September 2018, Apple released its 12th generation iPhone, the iPhone XS. You could buy it for $1,200. According to Rex Crum of the Santa Fe Valley News, in September of 2018, Apple believes it will set a record of number of iPhones sold in 2019 of 262 million phones. Things are also looking very bright for the iPhone financially as well in 2018. According to Rex Crum, the iPhone sales accounted for 70% of the total revenue, generating more than $61 billion in 2017. Now following to sum everything up. The iPhone success ranks amongst the most valuable brands in the world. It achieved this position by technical innovation and minimalistic design. Through the last 11 years, the iPhone has seen its ups and downs. It's been a unique journey from its beginning to the iPhone 5 to where it is today. But that's why I fell in love with it. I don't know if you felt the same way as I did, but I love the iPhone. Its story will definitely go down in history one day. I'm going to end this speech for you all with a spiritual quote from Steve Jobs himself. Have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. Those two somehow know what you truly want to become. And that's it.